Hello, everyone. Happy holiday weekend. Today, we're going to do Cruella de Vil Disney Villains Bezel. I'm usually not that good with bezels, so we'll see how it comes out. Alright, let's get down to it. So we're going to start off using bezel tape. This is a special type of tape that helps the bezel stay in place and the resin not leak so much. So we're going to do on the left side black and on the right side white. I had to look up a picture of Cruella de Vil to figure out what she looked like. So this is supposed to be, unfortunately my camera wouldn't focus again, a transparent black. Anytime I work with black, and I always have a problem with it curing. And I was hoping this time wouldn't be different. I tried not to use as many drops, but I wanted her to have that thick black hair. And of course, I always pour in too much resin every time, but that's okay. If you hear any sounds in the background, it's people doing fireworks. I promise nothing horrible is going on outside. We just like to celebrate early. So I got some new tools that I decided to try out. I didn't like the flexible ones. I finally got some metal ones, and I wasn't sure how to clean the resin off of the stick, but it just kind of came off by itself. That was different. So we're just going to pour in just a little. I wanted to make sure that bezel was completely stuck on, make sure nothing would come out the sides. And I wanted to pour very slowly. I don't like mistakes, which is impossible in resin, especially with me. I make mistakes all the time. We're going to give it a pre-cure. Alright, now I feel a little more comfortable. We're going to do the black hair. Now, I have forgotten to not leave my cup out, and I couldn't figure out where to put it. So luckily, my toolbox was next to me. That didn't get cured, and here I go, making a mess, like usual. I just wanted to get her hair, but no, Cruella de Vil just does not like to cooperate. And we're going to give it another cure. Felt a lot better. Hopefully it's a lot more solid because I know I'm going to have to touch it. Again, with black, it just does not agree with me. It doesn't ever want to cooperate. And I was really hoping that this again would not be the case. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to work with black. I found out maybe I'll just stick with mica powder. I seem to have a lot better luck with that. Now it's time to work on the right side of her hair. This time I'm using a white transparent liquid dye. It's just like the black, same brand, Sophie and Toffee. This one I usually have a better time working with. tried to hold the bezel down. I was so nervous that resin was not going to stay in the bezel. And that's exactly what I do. I just hold it down. You can kind of see at the top of the hair, the black was kind of coming out. Bad, transparent black resin. How dare you? So after giving that another quick blast, I'm doing maybe 30 seconds just to slightly harden it, just to get it in place. It's finally time to do the lower part of her hair. Bezels, I don't know why I keep saying bezels keep taking, wow, I can't talk. Bezels take a long time sometimes. The bigger they are, it seems like the more difficult I have of a time with them. The tape doesn't even completely fill the bezel. That could have been my fault though. I probably could have added more tape. But it's kind of late. Too late after that. So after just giving it a quick dry, I realized there was black resin right in the middle of her forehead. It was slightly wet, so I knew if I put any other color on her face, you would see the black right on the other side. I definitely did not want that to happen because it needs to look as pretty as possible. So Cruella de Vil's face is kind of an eggshell white. It's not completely white, but it's dark-ish white. But I found this pigment, this mica powder that has a shiny red to it, but it comes out white. So I thought about all the times Cruella de Vil gets mad and her face gets dark and angry and I'm gonna get those puppies. So I figured, why not add just a little bit of magical red? Giving it a quick flash just to set that resin once again. Now it's time to go on to her, I guess, coat, neck, and earrings. Now, her coat is also kind of an off-white, kind of an eggshell white as well. So I took some pearl powder, which is closer to a tan than anything else. And I decided just to add a little bit, and I mixed it. But it was still way too dark. I'm trying to get as close as possible when it comes to my stuff. I know it's an artist's point of view. I should just do whatever colors I want, but that's just not how I roll. So I decided to maybe add a little bit of white just to kind of tone it down. So I decided to add some transparent white, about 1 or 2 drops. You can't really see me doing it. And it actually worked out really well. It turned a very pretty color. It was closer to the coat color, and I was pretty happy with it. Once I got the coat filled in, I wanted to do a quick flash and seal it in so I didn't continue to make a mess or mess it up. So I decided to use a red that actually came with the box. It was a really pretty red, and the reds that I have, they're either way too light or they're way too dark, and this shade was absolutely perfect. While I was mixing it, though, I noticed that the black that was stuck in the little mixing cup that wouldn't come out completely was just mixing with the red, and then I knew it would have spots. But now that I think about it, that would have fit her perfectly since she wanted spots and nothing but spots. So after scrapping that idea, because I again had to go for perfection, I found a cleaner cup, pulled out the excess. That's the great thing about silicone or silicone, however you want to say it, and resin. They just don't like to stick together for a very long period of time. So this cup was perfect. I do need to clean all my cups though. I should have taken into consideration though how hard it would be to fill her earrings, because one was actually bigger than the other. So I tried to pour it in and it kind of just went everywhere but where it needed to go. The neck worked perfectly. That was a great sized hole, but the earrings, I should have just kind of dropped it with maybe an eyedropper. So what I ended up doing, hoping to fix it, was use a paper towel. I thought maybe the paper towel would absorb the resin, and it kind of worked. It was not the best tool, but it kind of worked. So I decided to maybe try using the stirring tool, and that worked a little bit. It's just, I guess it was that hole. It was just so awkward. It wasn't a good size. It just didn't want to cooperate at all. And we're going to flash cure it. Now that I had all the colors completely in, it was time to cure it for a very long time, because I knew I'd have to do the other side. This is the part that I feared the most. Taking the bezel off, trying to flip it over and do the other side. It didn't even want to come off the mat. And as I'm slowly pulling the tape off, I can see parts of the black resin that just didn't want to cure come off. I knew if I messed this up, it would be another wasted bezel. I've already done that once. This terrified me. So as you can see, as it's slowly peeling off of her, you can see that the white didn't even go all the way through. There's a big hole that was apparently either a really giant bubble that I just missed, or there was a fault in the tape, or human error. Who knew? This part is it's just so terrifying to me. But I did get it off, but I noticed the black tip of her hair is still was sticking off. So I have to try to fix it. So I had realized at this point I had taken my gloves off to try to peel this. And now I have to fix this bezel with resin. The earring's not all the way through. I have holes. Nothing is completely smooth. I didn't want to go and get new gloves and keep wasting. I couldn't put the old gloves back on because they were too sweaty. It was just a horrible mess. So I knew in order to do this, I'd have to be really, really careful and go really, really slow. So in order to fix this, I wanted to use a little bit of that transparent white, just a little bit of resin. I didn't need a lot, I just needed enough to fill this little bubble hole. Luckily, I had an idea. I kept my old silicone tools and decided now would be a good time to pull them out and use them the best way I could. And that's dipping and layering. To try to fix that earring, I only needed just a little bit of red. I thought I still had some wet resin on the mat, but I didn't. It had cured with the lamp. So I obviously mixed too much, but that's okay. Again, I went with my old silicone tool. I just needed to dab a little bit. Now, it still wasn't completely smooth. It still needed an extra layer of protection, so I grabbed the Crystal LED UV resin. I love this stuff, and I'm going to put all over it. It's going to fill in the gaps. It's going to make sure it's sealed. It takes away any of the sticky stuff. This stuff is amazing, and hopefully one day I can buy it in bulk because that's how much I love it. to give it one last hard flash of curing. Now, I wanted to make this into a keychain because I thought this would be the easiest thing for me to do. I'm still working on getting better with jewelry making. I'm not even close to, I think, beginner, novice, apprentice. I'm horrible with jewelry. So, luckily, a keychain seemed like the best idea. Just to clip off a little bit of her hair because it was still kind of sticking out. I thought about painting on a face. I tried drawing it real fast, not very good at the face. So I decided to just kind of leave her the way she was. She was pretty enough. And this is the final project. Final thing. Is it perfect? No. But it's better than my other bezels that I've done in the past. Pretty happy with it. I gotta keep working on it. And that's how I do bezels. Oh my goodness. I hope you learned something. Hope people get more into this craft. But please remember, safety, safety, safety. Gloves, respirator, air circulation, open window, whatever it needs to happen. Resin is not a toy. Please tune in next time. Please continue to come back. I will keep doing Sophie and Toffee if that's what all you people want. I am not sponsored. I am not affiliated. But I wouldn't mind it either. Next box, I will actually do a review. And then we'll jump right into making something. It's going to be Cinderella. Thank you for joining me. Please like, please subscribe, and I will do tons more resin. Have a great day.